Hawaii, from French toast to Toastmasters. On my extended vacation, where is the clicker? There we go. On my extended vacation, you can see that I was having one heck of a good time and I didn't feel good. So that's kind of one of the stories about me, is I'll pretty much push through darn near anything if there's food involved. This is Kauai. This is where Jurassic Park was filmed to begin with and landed, so it was really exciting to see that. But it was the food and the people I was after. Remember, I went on this vacation, you may not know that. My husband and I were looking at real estate to consider another ocean home. Well, he was looking at real property and paying attention to that. I was looking at the real people. I wanted to see the real culture. If I'm moving someplace, I want to feel welcome, don't you? Mm-hmm. So I wanted to know who folks were, what the food tasted like. Was I going to be okay living in this new environment? Because I love Monterey. Food. This is Aloha French toast. I must say it was fabulous. We're talking thick, delicious, monstrous pieces of bread, crispy on the outside, macadamia nut encrusted. Hello, macadamia nut encrusted, are you kidding me? And covered with the tropical fruits of the islands. It was delicious. Who knew I was a papaya junkie? I am. I'm hooked. However, the locals, because I was looking for them, remember? That was my point. This is what they eat. Spam. They have spam on absolutely everything. Not a chance of this canned, nasty food that we left behind from World War II. They still absolutely love. I think it's the original cans from World War II. But it's everywhere. So rice and spam. Spam and rice. Spam and rice and rice and ham, a little gravy if you add it to it. But I'm eating this stuff, they're eating that stuff. I don't get it. But there you are. That's a cultural difference that would be a problem for me. Aloha people. I asked this lovely gentleman if he would show me fierce. Now, I don't know if you can see that. If you can't, you should come up and see it later. I said, I want to see fierce. So he goes, remember before when I went to Hawaii, I said, tree, the men go, huh, and big tree, huh, right? So this guy, fierce, looks like this. So that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing, because these people, their culture from the past is to let others know you're not welcome. So that's something that he's showing us with that look. He later turned out to be the fire dancer guy that said, he was amazing. The ladies, remember I told you before, they're the pretty, she's even naked. it was wonderful. She's beautiful. Beautiful, gorgeous, and soft and gentle, and that's the ladies of Aloha, and the gentlemen, fierce! But they're entertaining us. So is this actually the truth? This is something I'm wondering. They're friendly to us, and they're lovely to us, but we're paying $200 a head to enjoy this luau. So I'm thinking probably this is not the truth. This is more the truth. If you could read this sign, this is me. I went to go get this plate lunch promised. This is a plate lunch. If you go to Hawaii, plate lunch, forget the luau, find a plate lunch truck. This sign says, Hawaiian time hours, open sometimes, mostly 8 or 9, closes at 3 or 4. It goes on to say sometimes 5, but mostly 2 or 3. But closed when surf's up. No, like work. That sounds funny and we're all laughing. They're not kidding. They're not kidding. I don't like that. So this is something that I realized with Robert's Rules of Order, within 2-3 months, I would take over Hawaii. Absolutely, without doubt, unequivocally, Hawaii would be mine, and it'd be the state of Kyle, and that would be it. Forget it. It drove me crazy. So I did not get that delicious plate lunch. I had to settle for something else back at McDonald's because they closed. The stores closed. Surf's up, and surf was up like crazy then. And it made me absolutely mad. I mean, crazy, crazy, crazy. I hate it. This is more of the truth. Signs around the island, and I'm not angry about it, because I don't mind being called anything, because I know what I am. I'm not welcome. Howley Go Home, and much worse than this, is all over the place in the countryside. It is not considered a hate crime, because we're Howleys. But there you are. So making these faces at us, they're angry because jobs have left. Pineapples and sugarcane is no longer being produced in Kauai, or Hawaii really at all, except for touristy stuff. And they're angry with us. And Mark Zuckerberg just closed up and put an 8-foot fence around 700 acres of Kauai. And they're really annoyed with all Howleys. And they do call us that. But I don't care, so there's that. But it's not nice. So do I want to live with those people? I don't feel like it. However, does everybody remember that Toastmasters is a global organization? Raise your hand if you know that. Toastmasters is a global organization. So no matter where you go in the world, you're going to find a Toastmasters club. So I called ahead to Kauai Toastmasters. I wanted to meet real people having a real day, and I did. This is their club. I had a wonderful time. They're completely different from us. I told them about the bell. Ring it, Billy. They went, that's mean. You have a mean club. I said, well, I love it. It corrects, keeps us on our toes and has us be more snappy on our conversation. And then they made the terrible mistake to make me counter Angry Marion. I nailed them. Show them Howley. I'll show them Howley. Whoops, my money's falling out. Anyway, so the bottom line is, go to Toastmasters. It was fabulous. It was terrific. Toastmasters everywhere. So from French toast to Toastmasters, I had a fabulous time. Couple of glitches in between. But aloha, everyone. Glad to be back because there's no place like home. I'm glad to be back at MPS Toastmasters. Thank you, Madam Toastmasters.
My pleasure. Thank you. And thank you to Kyle for your speech. Kyle was working on telling a story. Her purpose for this speech was to practice using a story within the speech or give the speech. That is a story, which is what happened. Her whole speech was the story of being in Hawaii. And you nailed this project to the T. Keep those on. You excel. I mean, really. I have been coming in here for 6 years now. And I have seen several of the members that either started a year or two before me or at the same time. Kyle and I actually started the same day. And every one of you have taken some step up into what I would say is a more professional type of speaking. And so my evaluation, the only way that we can even get better once we're at that point, is to try to be as nitpicky as possible. And it's really hard, Kyle, to find things to help in that journey. Your language was excellent. I love the way she played with it. Real property, real people. You really, just your whole grammar has contributed to this story, this speech. Gestures, I mean, what can I say? She's got the gestures. She's got them down. Especially when you're talking about the French toast and just everything. It's natural and you let it happen. And you know, we all have that in us to be gestury. My new word. Your humor. I mean, from the beginning to the end we were laughing. I love the spam, and I love the spam being from World War II. It probably is from World War II. I'm going to give you a couple of ideas to work on. The only thing I can think of just as a general is to be careful not to turn your back to the audience. So we know that we have slides, and when we have them, it's easy to look back like this at our slides, or from your point of view. So you just lost me. A very easy trick to do is, of course you know where it is, so you can back up while you're still talking and point. Know your slides well enough to know where you're pointing on the slide, and that's the trick. Yeah, so you know that this is up in that corner, this is the, or this, you know, the sign's down here. So kind of have a little idea. And that's a trick on the stage that we use, we call it cheating out. So instead of ever letting your toes point sideways or back, always keep your toes at least to the middle of the room. To challenge yourself. Give yourself the opening and the ending. The opening, you came up and there was a little bit of the hustle. Stop. Give your opening. Plant your feet and don't move. Eye contact, give that opening, same with the ending. And then the other challenge is block your movements. Instead of back and forth walking, step here on purpose because you want to say this. Step here on purpose because you want to say that. So that's the only challenge is you handled your spilled purse with like a pro. Your energy was high, it was effective, you were genuine. You know, when you could tell you enjoyed giving your speech. I can't wait for the next one.